Hello designers, this is Rebecca, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a rack card in InDesign. So we'll go to our new file button here, and then in our new document window, go to print, because rack cards are usually printed. You can choose letter just to get everything kind of going over here on the right column there, and you can type in rack card or whatever you'd like the title of your document to be. I'm going to change my units to inches. This rack card is going to be 3.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall, and then we're going to have the portrait orientation there. For our pages, it's going to be front and back, so we're going to change our pages to 2. We want our pages to be facing, so that's fine. We can leave our start at number 1. For our columns, give yourself at least 3 columns. You can also go to 4 columns or more if you need to. The gutter is fine at 1.667 inches. For our margins, usually a 1/2 inch is the default. You can go a tiny bit smaller. It depends on what your printer requires. So if they don't have any requirements specified, I do recommend leaving it at a 1/2 inch. And then for your bleed, go ahead and give yourself at least 1/8 inch for bleed, and you can leave your slugs as is and then hit create. So here we have our page 1 of our rack card and page 2, that's the second or back page. So when you're laying out your graphics, go ahead and create any kind of graphics or assets in Illustrator, and I do recommend setting up your artboard at the same dimensions as your rack card, like 3.5 by 8.5, just so that you know everything's going to fit correctly. Same within Photoshop, if you're cropping images to fill this huge background for your entire background for the rack card, then go ahead and crop it down to I would do 4 by 9 to make sure that it extends all the way to the bleeds as well, and you have a little bit of wiggle room to nudge things around. But that way you just know that you're not going to be stretching your image in any way or using an image that's too small. You already know that it's sized correctly and that your resolution will be correct. So once you have your background all built, you can bring it in to InDesign. You can make a text frame for it and drag it across the background from bleed to bleed and go to File, Place, and pop that in there. You can also build your assets in InDesign if you wanted to use shapes. You've got your shape tools here that you can, do that. What I did want to show you though is when you're laying out your text fields. So grab the type tool. You're not going to fill in type in these skinny columns that you've created. You're not going to have 4 skinny columns side by side. That's going to be so hard to read, at like a 10 or 12 point type. So I recommend stretching your type columns to at least 2. You can also stretch them across 3 if you have a 4 or more column layout. You can also do like 3 columns here, and then you can do 3 columns here, that kind of thing. On the back, if you needed more space for things, you could do 1 long 2 column, and then maybe have some images here that come down that you've cropped out of Photoshop, and you could have a text wrap that's real nice around that image. So, and then you'll want to thread those type fields so that the type flows through each of the text boxes. So yeah, I just wanted to show you, don't use the skinny columns that you applied while setting up your document. You're just using those columns as a column grid layout to help you when you're placing all your images and placing your text so that you have a nice clean grid layout and a lot of beautiful organization on your rack card. All right, thanks so much for watching.